Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Love for Intuitive Astrology. My name is Michelle and today I will talk about the placement of Venus square Pluto. Because I was literally working today and I've really felt drawn to talk about this placement. Not only from an astrology perspective, but also from my own humble perspective. And it is a quite challenging aspect to have in your natal chart, right? But as with everything, we can learn from our lessons and really dive deep within our psyche to understand how we can heal ourselves and how we can make the best out of life, right? Because without a challenge, life would be quite boring. So I want to do more videos after this one as well for different Pluto placements, because I'm surrounded by family members with strong Pluto placements. Like I have Venus square Pluto and my Pluto is on the ascendant, and I made a video about that as well. My mother has Moon square Pluto, and my father has Mars square Pluto and Mercury square Pluto. And a lot of my friends and relationships are representing my parents as well. So it's not easy to have Pluto square placements. And I want to give you my perspective and also an astrology perspective, so we can heal ourselves and work with the uncomfortable, because literally Pluto is everything uncomfortable. So it's challenging, and very often it's unconscious and subconscious. So when we have Venus square Pluto, let's go back to the basics, okay? It really depends on when you're born, but I guess when you're watching this video, you probably have your Pluto in either Virgo, Leo, Scorpio, Sagittarius. Do I miss one? Virgo, Leo, Scorpio, Sagittarius. Yeah. If you have it in Capricorn, you're very young, so I don't think you're watching this video yet. So yeah, that makes a tiny difference. So for example, if you have Pluto in Virgo, right? Virgo is very detail oriented. So what do we see is that people who have Pluto there are trying to control the environment to be perfect, just like yourself. And like I said, Pluto is very much about shadow work. So there's a lot of projection going on onto other people that actually teach a lesson about yourself as well. And for example, if we have it in Sagittarius, it's all about wanting to break free or being a little bit of a know-it-all, okay? In Scorpio, it's about cycles. It rules the 8th house, so it's about breaking free from cycle after cycle after cycle and learning how to forgive and how to move on from certain situations and let go of control, right? Pluto has a lot to do with control. So, and when we talk about Libra is the sign of relationships. So if you have Pluto there are power dynamics happening in relationships. And Pluto is all about what's hidden in our psyche. And very often it comes either from an ancestral line, because it's a very ancestral kind of placement. So very often we already have family members with this placement, or with a strong sense of control and manipulation when you have a square with Pluto, right? So not just the planet Pluto, because we all have that. So there are lessons to be learned within this placement. So Venus is the planet of love, self-love, how we want to be loved, right? Especially if you're into women, it represents how you want to be loved in a relationship, right? Mars is representing more man, and Jupiter is more husband related, right? So when we have this square, and Venus is also money, right? So it's not only love. I'm gonna discuss the different situations, but Venus square Pluto is very power hungry. So when you're younger, you want to have this power couple, right? This power couple, let's be a power couple together. Let's rule the world. Let's have a lot of money. And this is basically to fill up a gap within yourself, right? And when there's this square, there is kind of a tension going on between giving and receiving love, Venus, which is a soft aspect. And then we have Pluto, which is like powerful and, you know, it can outer itself in different ways. So it can be a very dark placement if you're not owning your shadow side, but it can also be a very strong placement where you owning your own power, right? And when there's a square, there's literally like kind of like, how do I give love? How do I keep my power? It's like love is confused with power, and there's kind of a tension going on, right? So on one hand, you want to be in a relationship, you crave to be in a relationship. But with Pluto there, it's like you're trying to control the outcome, right? Trying to control the other person. But in another extreme, you let go of control completely. And you're like, I'll give you everything. I'll give you my life. And you have no boundaries. So this is the square. It's either too much Venus or too much Pluto. So it's like, I need to give up my soul to be in a relationship. And then the other person leaves because it's not very attractive to be with someone that's a yes man or a yes woman. So you go from people pleaser to dominator. And, you know, life will show you the different aspects with different relationships. So most likely you had to practice being in relationships, right? And struggled with relationships because what I see with this aspect a lot is third party situations. So it's like you meet someone and this person is representing as this really powerful, magical being, and you fall in love. And with Pluto there, you might be attracted to more darker personalities, right? So when you attract this person, they promise you the world. So this could relate to more, like a little bit people with an agenda, right? The darker side of Pluto. And we're gonna talk about how to transform it in the higher form of relationships, but and how to balance everything, because I think we should also work on some kind of solution to work on this placement. But yeah, there is a huge deal of third party situations. So very often you will meet someone that making a lot of excuses, maybe is already in a relationship. You are in a relationship, the dynamic of the third party might even switch. Like you become the girlfriend or the boyfriend, and then you become the mistress. How do you say it as a male? Mister. So it switches, the roles switch, and you're like, huh? What's going on here? There's no clear overview. And you know, this happens because deep within you, there is a form of inadequacy and a lack of self-love, a lack of boundaries, right? It's about giving your power away to maintain the situation. Like someone who is really strong in their energy knows exactly when to say no. You know, and I'm telling you this also from a very humble self-experience where I had no boundaries. I was accepting the unacceptable, right? And instead of talking about it, I would just let it happen and be okay with excuses, right? And this is something that's very often seen. There is a power dynamic, like a game going on between two people about who's the most dominant, right? And when you submit completely, and it's like you lose all your sense of power, and the other person knows how to wrap you around their fingers. So yeah, so what we see is you get to deal with, for example, people of the, I don't know, maybe criminals or scammers or people who have bad intentions when it comes to even work or get money. So they might be coming off really rich, but actually they don't make money in an honest way. It's very often about this power, right? So you're attracted to these very powerful people that make you feel good and worthy. But this is the key. You are looking for someone, so you're very drawn to love bombers because they bring up your sense of self and you're like, yay, okay, I'm feeling really, really good about myself. And you're going into this relationship and this person will devalue you really straight after. Because in reality, when you meet someone, they will not put you on the pedestal that extreme, in that sense of, you know, they don't know you so well. So someone with a healthy mindset and with an actual strong inner self, a strong inner power, will not want to woo you in those extreme ways. They don't want to cover their mask with words. They want for you to get to know them slowly. And you know, this is where your strong sense of self, so the balance between being powerful and the balance between being loving. So it's about knowing where to set your boundaries. And what I've seen with displacement as well is that you're so hurt in relationships that you don't even want to start going into a relationship. It feels so hard. It's almost like painful. And, you know, I see people, and even myself, being single for a long time to avoid any confrontation or to avoid being in the same situation as before. And it can also bring like codependent relationships, right? Being very codependent and wanting the other person to give a lot of love without you giving a lot back because you want to control it. So there is not an equal give and take. And this very often comes from a childhood where you didn't learn properly what a relationship is about, right? For example, I grew up in a very unstable household where my father was absent and my mother was emotionally absent. So neither of them could teach me what love is about. It was, I mean, I'm still struggling sometimes with this, you know, how to give love and how to receive, how to be receptive without controlling other people to do things for me, right? Because that's how you learn how to get your way. It's like, I want to be in a relationship with you. I decided that. So you just give to me to prove to me that you're a safe option. But it's exhausting for the other person. It's like, I just give, right? So this self-protection mechanism becomes a wall that is impossible for people to enter, right? And God bless, I'm so happy that right now my relationship with both my father and my mother are so much better. I did a lot of self-work, and yeah, I went once to a spiritual retreat, and there was this, I don't know, I don't like the word guru, but there was someone leading the session, and he came to me and he said, if you cannot heal your parents, and I was so desperate, you know, I was like, I want to heal them. I want them to love me. I want them to to give that love to me. So I was looking for that validation from other people to make me feel whole and complete. And the reality is I cannot make someone love me. Right? You cannot make someone love you. You have to feel that within you. And I know that's such a popular word to say, but I'm trying to tell my story, and maybe you can see yourself in that story as well when you have emotionally unavailable parents, or parents that are incapable of giving you love when you were little, you know. And there are always reasons for that. Like my parents split, so my father left and my mother got into a depression because of it. My father was cheating, third party situation, right? So that was my example from a very young age already. Men cheat, they leave, and mother is unavailable and maybe needs even my help, right? So I didn't have a good example of how to give love and how to receive love. So I spent a long time investigating for myself how to love me. And for example, I have Venus in Leo, so it's about self-love and learning how to do that so I can teach others how to love themselves as well, right? So look where your Venus is, right? So for example, if you have your Pluto in Virgo, it's most likely in Gemini or Sagittarius, right? Because it's always a square. So this is in the mutable signs, right? So this is about maybe you're being too flexible, holding back. A very popular thing, and this is in general, with displacement is also ghosting, being ghosted and ghosting people. It's like, okay, this is becoming too much for me, bye, I'm out, and not sticking through and talking about stuff, right? Holding it in, being this wall, what's impossible for people to read, and not telling what you're actually feeling and setting boundaries with people. I don't like how you treat me, right? And then these dark personalities that you're so attracted to that blind you completely, because you will know you're gonna feel so in love, like you want to almost die for this person, right? This is when you meet very often this Venus square Pluto person. It's like, wow, this person is the one. I'm gonna do everything for this person. And very often this person portrays a very powerful personality, but very often a little bit shady, right? And this dynamic is shown to you because you're lacking inner power. So you get this very powerful personalities that are like waving at you, and you're like, oh, wow, this person is so powerful. But what if you can be powerful yourself? And you know your boundaries, and you know how to run things yourself without expecting it from other people, right? You can have a career and be in love. It doesn't need to be one way or another. Or you can be in a relationship where it's equal give and take. No one needs to have the power. It's an equal partnership, right? And like being in your feminine or masculine energy, doesn't matter what gender you are, right? So it's about not trying to control the outcome and being impatient and writing too fast messages, like without thinking it through. Is this coming from my own pain, or is this something that is within me? Because if you're very sure of yourself, you don't need to be out, up and above, out of your body to please someone. Because you know that you're good enough to attract the person that is good for you, because you deserve that. And you won't be afraid to give with the right person. So if you feel you're walking on eggshells and you're like, oh, right? If you're feeling like you're walking on eggshells, that's not the person for you. And it's the same with money, trying to maybe control your money, right? But also trying to raise to a position really quickly because you adore this being like this famous person maybe, or really like a big businessman or businesswoman, and have this praise. But this comes from a lack of self-validation and self-love, and the fact that you will get validation from people when you validate yourself, right? And for me, it's ups and downs in life. Like, I know that when I'm good in my skin and I feel so amazing and I feel I'm good enough, I feel that, you know, there's a lot more opportunities coming to me. And when I want it so bad, come here, please, love and money, it's like you attract people that are not in their right energy and will probably take advantage of you lacking any type of boundary. So you've been on both sides, most likely, right? Being the person who just takes or being the person who just gives. So, and allowing things that are not lovable, you know, that not make you value yourself, like people cheating on you. And I'm not talking about a one-time mistake. I'm talking about continuous cheating, or being okay being the third person. That is someone who doesn't value themselves enough to be the one for one person, or not the one, but at least like have a healthy relationship, right? It's about trying to make people do things for you so you feel validated. And many times to receive this love, I wanted to, you know, you see that with Instagram, where people post a lot of beauty pictures, right? And we may feel beautiful or like getting a lot of attention by doing certain things to make you feel whole and complete. But in reality, we are already whole and complete. And when we know that from the inside, we don't need to search for it. Okay, you make decisions on your own, right? So yeah, coming back, you know, if you have a Leo, you have it on the fixed, right? If you have Pluto in Leo, you have it on the fixed axis. So this is more about control and to be immovable and having issues letting go of relationships. So it would be like squaring, let me see, Scorpio and Taurus, yeah. Scorpio and Taurus. So it would be like immovable, difficulty letting go of people that are not good for you, sticking to the same person for life. Maybe one day they'll come back and give me what I want. I laugh about it now, but you know, I've been in the same situation, so we can laugh about it together, right? Because life is all about not taking it too seriously, but at the same time a willingness to work on ourselves while having fun and practicing. And it's okay to sometimes be sad, right? Because that's that wall, like not allowing emotions and allowing love and your true feelings to flow, that it's okay. So I don't want to be this person who is this positive, how do you say it? This person who says always be positive and never feel your emotions. That's not good. Yeah, so of course we have the Scorpio, Pluto in Scorpio as well, which is also on Leo and Aquarius. So again, it's in the fixed sign. So that's the same thing as when Pluto was in Leo, right? When it's in Libra, we have it in the cardinal signs, which are the leading signs. So there is a big struggle of dominance, and it's very much related to as well money and work, right? And there's a lot of issues with the parents. Cancer, Capricorn. Cancer is the mom, Capricorn is the father, but it also has to do with nurturing and business, right? It's about money, power hungry. People are trying to climb the ladder too fast, or manipulation, and it's either you doing it or other people doing it. This the square, and it needs to be. This is why a trine is more. It flows better, okay? And then we have Sagittarius, which would be squaring Pisces and Virgo. So this is again about being a perfectionist, being a know-it-all, right? And not letting go and not opening up to other advices, to other ways of love, right? To let it flow naturally without trying to figure out where are people's faults. Because this is a placement of Venus square Pluto. It's like, let me find the mistake in this person. So very often when someone is actually in love with you, because you feel so unworthy of being loved, you're pushing this person away. It's like, ew, this person is all the time chasing me. And it's, you know, you're trying to chase your childhood trauma by chasing people that are unavailable. So the people who are available to you, you're completely blind to it. Hey, guilty as charged here as well. So it's like, you know, the people that actually love you believe that you deserve to be loved. You deserve someone that's there for you. That's a healthy relationship. And it might feel very uncomfortable for you at the beginning, being like, whoa, someone is there for me. That's weird. But allow that to happen. And even though, because it's also a very sexual aspect, right? So it's a very like, oh, I'm so in love, very sexual, very like, oh, you know, short term. Next one, short term, because you're chasing passion, sexual passion. You're chasing intensity, feeling good about yourself. Someone makes me feel alive in love because I can't feel it within myself. So please be this really extravagant person so I feel alive about myself. And I know that I'm probably triggering some people out there, okay? But it's good to do shadow work for yourself because no one is perfect, right? And yeah, I'm not gonna be here pretending like I'm not still working on this aspect as well. It's good to be vulnerable and to, you know, you're never gonna be finished learning in life. So there's always things that you can learn about yourself, and yeah, it's about fully being in your body and being present. And if you're a man, right, that you're not trying to control someone or jump in too fast because you're very attracted to this woman, right? Or you're very attracted to this man. But really take your time to get to know someone and really feel, is this lust or is this love? Because those are two different things. And it's almost like you feel that people who love you, you see them just as a friend. So you very often friend zone these people because you cannot imagine like having to do stuff with them. Well, in reality, that's really love, but you haven't learned that. So you feel this inadequacy, like you almost feel like you want to push it away. Ew, someone likes me. Why? I don't even like myself, right? So, yeah. Let me see if I talk about everything that I want to talk about. I think I kind of covered most things. So, what I can recommend you to do is to really get to know someone. So you can see, like, not jump all in too fast, not making excuses for things that aren't right. So find a midway in knowing what you're worthy, yeah, right? And seeing what this person is about and not rushing. because you want to know the answer within 2 weeks. Are we a couple? Are we good enough? Answer me now. Validate me today. Do your own things. So go about your own day and let it flow naturally. I mean, how would you treat a friend? You wouldn't be like, hey, calling. Hello? Do you like me still as a friend? Hello? You wouldn't do that. So why would you do that in a relationship? Like, maybe treat it as a friend and let it flow naturally. And don't be afraid to give a little bit, but not too much. Not to overly give, right? And if you are walking on eggshells, something is off. If people trigger you, something is off, right? This comes from childhood trauma, and you're looking to bond with the same person that you were raised with. You're like, in some ways you want to overly take care of people, or you want them to take care of you, like looking for a parent, or you want a parent. But in reality, if you find that within you, there is no need to find a parent. You don't need to overly take or overly give. It's about give and take, right? Yeah. So I hope that this aspect, like my talk, helps you a little bit. And I love you. And I hope you say that to yourself as well. I love myself also, because you're worthy of a healthy and beautiful relationship. We all are. So you're not below other people. So work on this self-love so you can fully be in a healthy relationship without having to control or be controlled. But let it flow naturally. And when you heal these energies within you, you will not attract it again. So know that about yourself. And also regarding money, right? You will make more money when you feel more balanced. So it's all together, right? Not overly spending, not overly saving, controlling. Give and take. That's the real practice here. So yeah, that's my message for you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so humbled with all your support, your lovely messages, your beautiful subscribers. Know that you can always ask me to make videos about certain placements, and also look at the positive placements you have from Pluto and Venus to give a little bit more details on how to work on this aspect. Okay? Bless you. I wish you an amazing day. Bye bye.